Hey guys, welcome back to Average Joe Blades. Today I'm going to be making kind of like a mini axe for the 4 weeks of forging from Alec Steele's channel. I started off with this, I think it's around like a 1/2 inch or so round bar, I'm not entirely sure. Flatten that out a little bit. I don't have enough fuel, I don't think, but we're going to give it a shot and see what we can do. Alright, so it's getting pretty thin on the outside here. So what I'm going to do is probably hot punch it here if I can. If not, I might have to drill it, but I'm probably going to try to hot punch it. And then I can fix this with grinding, and we should have a little tiny axe at the end of this. That probably won't work for anything, but it's fun to make. Also thought I would open up the door, get some fresh air in here, cool off a little bit. But I am going to start to drill this now, and then I'll get to grinding and all that stuff in a minute. Fingers crossed this works. So it started the hole. Halfway through that, my battery for the drill died, so I'm charging that right now. I did find a piece of wood for the handle. Depending on how I can sand this out, I might have a little palm swell in the back, which wouldn't really make much sense, but it'll be kind of cool to do that. So that drill definitely didn't work, but we got a package. Let's open it up. It's definitely going to help us out doing what we're doing right now. This is pretty freaking good. All the reviews that I've really seen have only drilled through wood. This drilled through this, I would say 1/2 inch, maybe, yeah, about 1/2 inch round bar, really easily. It's completely fine. You just tighten up the chuck, and you're pretty much good to go. So I drilled a second hole, a little bit off to the right a little bit. Not the worst thing in the world. It does kind of suck, but it's still straight up and down, and I did file a little bit in there. Got the handle right here, so we're gonna mark this, sand this down, fit it, and we'll send our pictures to Alec. Hopefully he'll like it. Caught it. All right, guys, welcome to day 2 of me trying to build this axe. It is raining outside, which is good. It'll keep me nice and cool while I'm heating up metal and squishing it. I looked up a few videos last night on how an axe eye is supposed to be, and it's kind of in not a triangle shape, but it's in sort of kind of like a triangle shape, and this is not like that. So what I'm going to do is heat this up, try to squish it. If that doesn't work, then I'll most likely have to make a punch or an axe eye for it, whatever it's called, which is kind of like a normal punch but just flattened instead of round. So we'll see how that works and see which one I decide to do. That didn't do anything. No! I really need an anvil. Starting to oval out. Alright, so before I cut this, to get the axe head off of this, I'm going to put the eye of the hole over the wood and do a little outline on it and try to chisel down or sand down to around that radius so I can see if it'll fit in there. And eventually, once I get it to the dimension that actually makes it fit in there, we'll cut a little, we'll cut it in half basically to a point, and then you can put the wedge into that. Hopefully that works. So if this project wasn't full of holes already, no pen or marker that I have fits down into that little tiny eye. So I have a knife that I made a while ago from a saw blade. I never made a video about this one, but this one turned out pretty good, and it's okay sharp. So what I'm going to do is, I guess, whittle this down into a type of pencil, or the size of a pencil that would fit through there and actually make a mark on our wood there. All right, we have our whittled down pencil. Alright, I'm going to try to do this quickly while the rain isn't so bad right now. Good thing about grinding out in the rain, you'll have little quench puddles out there, so you could just cool off your piece after you cut it. Alright, so that was a grinding success. Everything kind of turned out alright. Little hammer edge on the end of that. I did notice, however, I don't know if you guys can see that, it's a little bit curving out that way. So I'm going to try and hammer that in a little bit, heat it up a bit, hammer it down. Alright, so I got it as straight as I could get it. I don't think I drilled the holes pretty straight either. I got this nice straw temper on the back end of the hammer part of it though, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to try and whittle down this handle now, and then we'll get to sanding and everything like that. Just want to make sure that the handle fits first before we take even more material off of this. Alright, so I'm done. So it turned out better than I thought it was going to be. I still have to cut a little notch for the wedge that has to go in there. Most likely I'll probably use wood and just do an offset color of wood. I did vacuum everything up, everything's all clean. I am going to hand sand this like I did the knife, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card up somewhere over here. We hand sanded in like a shoe shine type of method. We're going to do the same thing with this. You can see how uneven that is. But when we're done with it, it should look pretty cool. Not very functional, but it should look cool. Also, while I was sanding, I sanded my finger. I didn't notice until halfway through. I don't know if you guys saw it in the time lapse. It started to sting out of nowhere. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'm not going to be going to the hospital or anything like that. But just so you guys know, when you're grinding on these belts that are a little bit higher grit, or lower grit, I should say, they are going to be a little bit more sharp. As you can tell. Not that all grinding belts aren't sharp. Everything's sharp in the workshop. Just protect yourself. Alright, so I got everything clamped up here. This is the only saw that I had that has the thinnest blade. So I'm going to do a little notch down the middle. I'm going to be as careful as I can possibly be. Alright, so that worked out pretty well. I had a little tiny wedge here, and it is long enough to kind of go in there and also have maybe about a millimeter of space to stick out. First I'm going to do a quick sanding job on the handle, and then probably grind down the axe head a little bit just so it gets into a little bit more of a final shape, and then I'll start to put in the wedge and everything like that. Order of operations. Alright guys, I took it all up to 400 grit. It's looking good. Looking good, looking good. I'm going to put some boiled linseed oil on this when it's finished. And I might just touch it up just a bit more off camera, but yeah, that's going to be, we're going to call that good. Now next I'm going to be doing the blade. I'm going to grind the blade down now. Alright, I'm done grinding everything. Pretty happy with how it came out. Not too shabby. I thought it was going to look a lot weirder than this, even though this does kind of look a lot pretty weird. It kind of has like an eagle type of blade to it. So now I'm gonna put everything together and it should look pretty good. So I'm gonna use this hammer. This hammer has kind of like a hollow inside to it. Probably plastic, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We accomplished it. There is some swelling out on the back side here, which isn't good. That kind of means I didn't cut it the right way or sand it enough for it to kind of be driven down. But it's going to work. Everything's going to work out. I'm going to sand this all down once the glue dries, and we should be good to go. I am going to do the boiled linseed oil on this entire thing. Alright, so I sanded it down. Because it cracked, it wasn't perfectly set in there. It's still solid. It's not going to fall out by any means, but it's not perfect. But nothing about this project was perfect. Just for reference, that's before. And we'll see what it looks like after. Just pour a little bit on here. This is probably not the way you're supposed to do this either, but we haven't done anything perfect this whole time. Why start now? Guys, this looks amazing. I know that other wood oil that I had is definitely wood oil, for sure. It's wood oil. It's not the greatest wood oil, but I think it's made for cutting boards or something like that. But specifically, I've seen boiled linseed oil put on handles and metal it sometimes. I'm not sure if that's a thing or if I'm just imagining it. Guys, this looks great. The color of the wood coming out. I don't even know what type of wood I use, to be honest with you. I have just a whole drawer full of wood. Yeah, the blade doesn't really look like it's doing too much. I think it might just be protecting it, if anything, from rust. There's a bug. There's a bug. From rust or something? I'm not entirely sure. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm getting text messages left and right. I just sent my brother a picture of it. He's probably responding to me right now. This looks better than I thought it would. Here's the after. I'll give you guys some beauty shots. Hold on. Alright guys, and that's it. That's the little tiny axe. This is, again, like I said, going to be my entry for the Alec Steele 4 weeks of forging. And this was my video making it. So if you guys liked it, leave me a like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching Average Joe Blades. I forget the name of my own YouTube channel.